I love to run, and because I'm also competitive, I love to race. I have to go faster every time, which means every run brings the same question. How fast can I go this time? And that mindset is great for running because it pushes me to train harder and train faster than I could before. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that that mindset, if it doesn't stay on the course, can quietly take over our lives. Over time, our lives become more cluttered. We fill our lives and our schedules with things that take up time to the point that it takes a toll on how we live. And while those question might not be how much can we do, it becomes how much can we fit in a day. And as this happens, our lives grow dull, and the things that we once enjoyed feel like chores. When that happens, we've turned our lives from a marathon into a sprint. And no one wants to sprint the first part of a marathon and die out. So sometimes, instead of running through life at the speed of light, we need to slow down and change the pace. So today we will look at how we currently move fast, why we do it, and finally, how to change the speed of our race. First, let's take a look at what's currently happening. We are moving too fast. We constantly have something to do, somewhere to be, and something to accomplish. For those things, for me, are school, sports, and expectations. And while they can be good on their own, when they stack on each other, they make our lives feel empty. And we just accept it as normal. If somehow we are doing more, we're doing better. But if this happens, it takes a toll on how we live. It happens because our world says that busyness is productivity, but actually constant busyness comes at a cost. When we move too fast, our lives with and our time with people feel rushed, and activities we love to do feel like chores. We can also lose the ability to be present because we are so concerned about the next thing we're doing. In fact, according to Think Global, most people spend 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than they're actively doing. That's crazy because that means that right now you are only actually hearing about 50% of what I'm saying, and some of you are even judging this. When we sit in one place while really being somewhere else, we are disconnected, and that disconnection grows. And while we may be doing more than ever before, we're actually missing on moments to connect with people. And when this happens, we are not just busy, we are empty. Yet we continue to move too fast. So for the next lap, let's take a look at why we sprint the race, even though it hurts us. In 2026, the main reason we do this is that our society has connected busyness with productivity. And this has caused us to do more things like multitasking, believing if we do that more than one thing, it'll make us more productive. However, according to Psychology Today, 90% of people are actively engaged in multitasking and doing more than one thing at one time. And it feels efficient, but in reality, it's the opposite, because Forbes shows that multitasking decreases productivity by 25%. So even though we feel like we're doing more, we're technically being less productive. And it hurts our relationships with others while we do it. When we move too fast, we stop paying attention to people close to us. And as I've seen in my life, that can lead to people leaving our lives entirely. And those experiences affect us a lot, but sometimes we never actually realize that we didn't even try to have a relationship with those people. Journalist Carl Honore states this best when he wrote, "The great benefit of slowing down is reclaiming the time and tranquility to make meaningful connections with people." When we move too fast, we create distance from those who we love, and over time that distance grows. So for the last lap of our race, let's take a look at how we can change the pace. The main way we can do this, like I've said, is slowing our lives down and balancing them. A 2022 Harvard study shows that the slower we live the pace of our lives, that can reduce mental stress by about 30%. Allowing our lives to be filled with things we love because we actually have mental space to do them. So how can we do this? We can do this by being intentional. When we slow down our lives and make space to notice the people around us and try to invest in relationships, rather than putting them into our days, we can actually invest in them. And we make space on your calendar for intentional time to invest in relationships, because then you can live a full life instead of a fast life. Slowing down doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing what you love. So today we have looked at why we sprint, how we sprint, and finally, how to fix it. Because we aren't meant to sprint a marathon, and we aren't meant to sprint through our lives. Because no one wants to run out of gas and die out towards the end of the race. And while I love to run for speed, sometimes it's better to change the pace and enjoy the journey.